Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Guru Station Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining, Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Svaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapata Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakrijatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Shatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Srinvatam Svakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Rityandrastoya Patrani Vidunuti Suhrit Satam Nashtaprayeshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavata Uttamasloke Bhaktirbhavati Naistiki. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma supersoul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Haribol, today we will continue from 2.7.26. Bhume Suret no. Bhume Suretaravarutha Vimarditaya Klesha Vyayaya Kalaya Sita Krishna Kesha Jata Karishyati Jananupalakshya Marga Karmani Chatma Mahimo Panibandhanani. Word to word. Bhume, the entire world, Suraitara, other than godly persons, Baruta, soldiers, Vimardit, Vimarditaya, distressed by the burden. Klesha, miseries. Vyayaya, vyayaya, for the matter of diminishing. Kalaya, along with his plenary expansion. Sita Krishna, not only beautiful but also black. Keshaha, with such hairs. Jataha, having appeared. Karishyati, would act. Jana, people in general. Anupalakshya, rarely to be seen. Marga, path. Karmani, activities. Cha, also. Atma Mahima, glories of the Lord Himself. Upani Bandhanani, in relation to. Translation. When the world is overburdened by the fighting strength of kings who have no faith in God, the Lord, just to diminish the distressed condition of the world, descends with his plenary portion. The Lord comes in his original form with beautiful black hair, and just to expand his transcendental glories, he acts extraordinarily. No one can properly estimate how great he is. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This verse is especially describing the appearance of Lord Krishna and his immediate expansion, Lord Baladeva. Both Lord Krishna and Lord Baladeva are one supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord is omnipotent and he expands himself in innumerable forms and energies, and the whole unit is known as the one supreme Brahman. Such extensions of the Lord are divided into two divisions, namely personal and differential. Oh,
Hare Krishna, dear
Haribo.
Prabhu. Please
Hare
accept my
Krishna,
humble
Gaura Sachi
obeisances
Prabhu Danda
for
Pranam
going
Jai
to
Shri
Srila
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Welcome to
Hare
Śrīmad
Krishna.
Bhagavatam session. Happy Prabhupada's disappearance
Oh,
day. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri
all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai, all glories to Shri Prabhupada.
Jai, Jai. Haribol.
Haribo.
For
Did you
you.
do the distribution?
Yes, yes. I'm
Haribo.
coming. I'm
Oh, now
on
you're
my way
coming back.
back to the center. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
So I already finished long few hours ago, but I had to see someone to give him something.
Yes,
And
Prabhu.
yeah, he's an elder person, but
Hmm.
yeah, Prabhupada somehow want me to preach him. So he's old person, but somehow the oldest person, are the most serious. So what to do?
Yes,
You know,
Prabhu. Same here.
uh, they are willing to listen and to talk about Srila Prabhupada. He was like in the beginning. He found Krishna consciousness when he was in Belgium, and he met with the devotee there. He spent some time in the temple there. So he had a mala, but he said, "Oh, when I was chanting, now I'm not chanting, but when I was chanting, I was doing only one round. It takes me so much time to do." I said, "Oh, it's okay. You know, when we are old, it's not very easy for us to chant.
Yes, Prabhu.
But you need to chant. Even if it's not easy, you do little, and then next time you start again where you stop, you know." And he said, "Oh, I can do like that." I say, "Yes, you can. Why not? You know, the more important is to chant." So he had the mala, and I chant on his mala so that you know uh, I can purify the place for him.
Yes,
And yes, next time he will come to the Sunday feast, and at least in his next life he will get the opportunity to start again. So yes, Prabhu. Krishna wants me to preach to those who are old, the oldest, because they are willing to listen and they are willing to follow also somehow. So yeah. So now I'm on my way back to the center. I need to glorify Prabhupada. I didn't have the time because I was preparing for Harinam Sankirtan and everything.
Yes.
But yeah, I need to do something for him, and then I need to start my reading session also online. So yeah, this is the program.
Very cool. Sounds really nice.
Yeah, I have 2 reading sessions now.
Yes, Prabhu.
One in the morning and I said online, in YouTube. I do one in the morning, Bhagavatam, and one in the evening, Bhagavad Gita. And also one with the devotee here. So, but yeah, I try to preach more online.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So today was very nice. There was the Hare Krishna Shman Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances or go Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam to all of you.
There was a little small boy, like 2 years old, something like that, 2 or 3. He was very standing up, and he danced on the Mahamantra with his father.
Yes, Prabhu.
So his father was like attracted first because of the child, because of his small boy, and then the small boy was staring at me. I was chanting, and the Mataji was next to me clapping hand, and he was clapping hand too. For a long time, he was dancing and clapping hand.
Oh, he was delivering his father, Prabhu.
Yeah, but he actually, what happened here? Mataji, she can witness because she always with me, and the children are most the one who get the book first, because they are very attracted to the mantra. They will stay and they will listen a lot, and sometimes they will chant with me also.
Yes, Prabhu.
I don't know, but it's like I'm, just plant some seed in their heart,
Yes, Prabhu.
So perhaps in the future, yeah, it will bear fruits. We will see by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. But yeah, even Mataji are sometimes very surprised. They said, "Wow, so many child, so many." And now she said, "Oh, today I know I have a new strategy. I will give first to the child, because when I give to the child, then sometimes the parents, they also want." Because every time the child will get attracted to the Mahamantra, and they will stop, and then Mataji will give them some prasad, and the child will always take. They are like this. Children will always take, but the parents sometimes they are like, "Oh, I don't want," But yeah, it's like this for me here. Like Krishna wants me to witness that the generation, the new generation, yeah, they are attracted to the Mahamantra, very attracted.
Yes,
This small boy was clapping and
Yeah, I wish we had video.
and he was the one. There is a small video, but the father filmed the whole thing. But actually, he sent it to me, but I need to text him that perhaps you should use WhatsApp, because it's too big. Like the video is too big for simple message. text message. So there was some error. So I need to ask him to send it back to me again.
Yes.
Yes, he filmed the whole thing. He films me chanting, and we can see his boy, dancing and clapping hands.
Haribol.
So yeah. Haribol. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Right.
This was the cute moment of today.
Yes, Prabhu. Really nice service.
Yeah, and then after that, I went to see this older person, and actually, because he was chanting before, but now he had some problem. This is old age. He had some disease and so he said, I don't chant for a long time. I didn't chant. Oh, okay. I take his japa and I do one round on his japa mala, and I said, you start to chant again, and you don't need to finish one round. You just and where you stop, you do something to remember you are, and next day you can keep going. You just keep chanting like this. And he said, oh, I can do this. I say, yes, you should chant. You should prepare yourself. Because,
Because he
we
needs
don't
to
know.
chant when he's
So,
dying,
yes.
so yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I explained all this. I was preaching for like 3 hours, Prabhu. We were talking about Srila Prabhupada. We were glorifying, some story about him, everything. And I said, today is the most auspicious day, like it's the day of his disappearance. Oh, really? I say, yes. That's why Krishna sent me to you, to talk about Prabhupada. He is the one who can save you in this world. So you need to chant. And he said, yes, I will chant.
Haribol.
I will chant. So I say, okay. So this is the mercy of Prabhupada. And then he gave some donation. Always when I see him, he will give some donation. Like, this is systematic. He gives something. Always. He's a pious soul,
Yes.
And he don't eat meat. He's vegetarian. Don't eat meat. And he tried to offer, but in the mind.
Yeah, that's
He don't know Sanskrit. Yeah, he just tried to chant Hare Krishna and to offer to Krishna in the mind. I say, yeah, it's very good. Keep going. So, yes, bro. This was the preaching for today. So I need to preach online also, and yeah,
yes,
keep
Prabhu,
going.
really nice.
At least this is my way. Very insignificant way to glorify Prabhupada today. We need to preach. This is what Prabhupada came from.
Yeah, today
How we can
everything
please
has
him.
been quite quiet in the groups.
So Prabhu,
Everyone is
so
preaching.
Prabhu, how much you have read today, Prabhu? How much time began you?
2 minutes, Prabhu. 1 minute. We have read 1 minute, Prabhu.
Oh, Prabhu. Then I am lucky.
Yes.
I was thinking I have to join 15 minutes late.
Oh, no
In-
problem. So I was thinking, is there Istagoshti tomorrow? I have not heard anything. Usually Karti Prabhu sends
Oh,
them.
yeah. Actually, His Grace Prabhu and His Grace Shama Govinda is in Amapula something.
Yes,
This place. So I don't know if there is Istagoshti. Otherwise, Kati Prabhu would announce it.
Yes.
He will share something on the group, right? Even
Yes.
the group discussion subject matter, we don't know. So I don't think there will be. But tomorrow, if there is no Istagoshti, I will do a session. If you want, you can come.
Yes,
And we can have a special session. We can have a mini Istagoshti.
Yes.
Yeah, we can have mini Istagoshti, no problem. We can have some group discussion also, just like next time. If you want to discuss about something, we can share some report also, and we can also see the sadhana chart, everything. We can do that, no problem.
That would be nice.
Because actually, like 2 times, Kati Prabhu approached me and said that His Grace Prabhu want me to do Istagoshti when he is not here. So yes, I think this is
Yes.
I have the how to say that, like His Grace Prabhu blessing to do that. So I think I need to do that.
Yes.
So no problem. Because it's better to do something, because when we don't do, then it's very long. Like 1 week we don't have anything. This is not
Yes.
good, This is really not good. And today I was so busy, I didn't have the time to do some wiki sangha or whatever. I was busy in preaching, so I'm sorry, but yeah, sometimes it's like this. Yeah. But tomorrow we will do something. We will see. Perhaps tomorrow, Kachi Prabhu will announce something. Sometimes he will do it in the morning. So we
Yes,
see.
Prabhu, that's true.
Even the Q&A, His Grace didn't do the Q&A, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Sundar Gopal Prabhu.
Yeah, not this
We
week.
didn't have. Yeah.
But Prabhu, many video has been uploaded. Question and answer on iestimative
Are we
TV.
live in ISCAM TV? No.
Oh yeah, we have Grace Priti Gauranga Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu Tanda Pram Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my obeisances, O Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Canto from Shri Prabhupada. Sorry, I just barged in. There's a bit of a conflict, looks like. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Jai
glories
Shri
to Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Thank you for joining, Prabhu.
Sorry, I wasn't aware of this because we have one more session on the same link. It's just in 4 minutes. So I see this. I wasn't aware of this one. So it's probably a conflict.
Yes, Prabhu. What session it is?
This should. Mhm.
What session it is?
This is my regional Odia class, because today is Prabhupada disappearance day. We
Om
had
Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva.
Yeah. So we had to push our schedule. So how long will this class continue, Prabhu? By any chance, do you know? That just started.
Yes, Prabhu. We just started reading, so it would be like 40 minutes, but we can shorter also if you need it. The Zoom.
No, I think fine. That shouldn't be disturbing it. I'll try to see if I can have my own for maybe some time, and then I'll continue with that maybe. So you can all continue, not a problem, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I'll have another link created. So please continue. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So Shubham Prabhu, do you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
From this blue part, personal.
Where I have to read, Prabhu?
From here. Purport.
This verse is especially describing the appearance of Lord Krishna and his immediate expansion. Lord Baldeva, both Lord Krishna and Lord Baldeva are one supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord is omnipotent and he known as one supreme Brahman. Such extension of the Lord are divided into two divisions, namely personal and differential. Personal expansion are called The Vishnu Tattvas and their differential expansion are called Jiva Tattvas. And in such expansion activity, Lord Baldeva is the first personal expansion of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vishnu Purana as well as in the Mahabharata, both Krishna and Baldeva are mentioned as having beautiful black hair. Even in their advanced age, the Lord is called Anupalaksh Marg, or in more technical Vedic terms, Avangmasa Gochara, one who is never to be or realized by limited sense perception of people in general. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said by the Lord, Naham Prakasa Sarvasya Yogamaya Asmavrita. Bhagavad Gita 7.25. In other words, he reserves the right of not being exposed to anyone and everyone. Only the bona fide devotees can know him by his specific symptom, and out of such a many symptoms, one symptom is mentioned here in this verse, that the Lord is Sita Krishna case, or one who is observed always with beautiful black hair. Both Lord Krishna and Lord Baldeva have such hair on their heads, and thus even in advanced age they appeared like young boys, 16-year-old. That is the particular symptom of the personality of Godhead. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that although he is the oldest personality among all the living entities, he looked like a new youthful boy. That is the characteristic of a spiritual body. The material body is symptomized by birth, death, old age, and disease. But the spiritual body is conspicuous by the absence of those symptoms. Divinities who reside in Vaikuntha, Loka in eternal life and bliss, have the same type of spiritual body without being affected by any signs of old age. It is described in Bhagavatam, the Canto 6, that the party of Vishnu Dutas who came to deliver Ajamil from the clutches of the party of Ramraj appeared like youthful boys from the corroborating the description in this verse. It is ascertained thus that the spiritual bodies in Vaikuntha Lokas, either of the Lord or of other inhabitants, are completely distinct from the material bodies of this material world. Therefore, when the Lord descends from that world to this world, he descends in his spiritual body or Atmaya, or of Atmaya, or internal potency, without any touch of Bhayanga Sakti, Bhayanga Maya, or external material energy. The allegation that the impersonal Brahman appear in this material world by accepting a material body is quite absurd. Therefore, the Lord, when he comes here, has not a material body but a spiritual body. The impersonal Brahma Jyoti is only only the glaring effulgence of the body of the Lord, and there is no difference in quality between the body of the Lord and impersonal race of the Lord called Brahmajyoti. Now the question is why the Lord, who is omnipotent, comes here to diminish the burden of word created by the unscrupulous kingly order. Certainly the Lord does not need to come here personally for such a purpose, but he actually descends to exhibit his transcendental activities in order to discourage in order to encourage his pure devotees who want to enjoy love by chanting the glories of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita it is stated Bhagavad Gita 9.13-14 that the Mahatmas, great devotee of the Lord, take pleasure in chanting of the activities of the Lord. All Vedic literatures are meant for turning one's attention toward the Lord and his transcendental activities. Thus, the activities of the Lord in his dealing with worldly people create a subject matter for discussion by pure devotees. Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu.
Ribol, thank you so much, Shubham Prabhu.
Prabhu, someone is messaging constantly.
Text number 27. Will who is there? Hare Krishna, Direct Prabhu, Dandar Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Or Rishikesh Prabhu, do you want to read the next verse? Okay, I can read also. Tokena jivaharanam yad tokena jivaharanam yadulukikayas trayimasikas masikasya chapada sakatopavritta yadringatantaragatenam divisprishodva unmulanam tvitat Tvitaratharjunayornabhavyam. Tokena by a child, Jivaharanam, killing a living being, Yat one which, Ulukikayaha, assumed the giant body of a demon, Traimasikasya, of one who is only 3 months old, Cha also, Pada by the leg, Shakata Upavritta, turned over the cart, Yat one who. Lingata while traveling, Antara Gatena being overtaken, Divi high in the sky, Sprisho touching, Va either, Unmulanam uprooting, Tu but, Itaratha anyone else than Arjunayo of the two Arjuna trees, Nabhavyam was not possible. Translation. There is no doubt about Lord Krishna's being the Supreme Lord, otherwise, how was it possible for him to kill a giant demon like Putana when he was just on the lap of his mother? To overturn a cart with his leg when he was only 3 months old, to uproot a pair of Arjun trees so high that they touched the sky when he was only crawling. All these activities are not possible for anyone other than the Lord himself. Purport. One cannot manufacture a god by one's mental speculation, or by numerical votes, as has become a practice for the less intelligent class of man. God is God eternally, and an ordinary living entity is eternally a part and parcel of God. God is one without a second, and the ordinary living entities are many without number. All such living entities are maintained by God Himself, and that is the verdict of the Vedic literatures. When Krishna was on the lap of his mother, the demon Putana appeared before his mother and prayed to nurture the child in her lap. Mother Yashoda agreed, and the child was transferred onto the lap of Putana, who was in the garb of a respectable lady. Putana wanted to kill the child by smearing poison on the nipple of her breast, but when everything was complete, the Lord sucked her breast along with her very air of life, and the demon's gigantic body, said to be as long as 6 miles, fell down. But Lord Krishna did not need to expand himself to the length of the she demon Putana, although he was quite competent to extend himself more than 6 miles long. In his Vamana incarnation, he posed himself as a dwarf Brahmana, but when he took possession of his land, promised by Bali Maharaj, he expanded his footsteps to the top end of the universe, extending over thousands and millions of miles. So it was not very difficult for Krishna to perform a miracle by extending his bodily feature. But he had no desire to do it because of his deep filial love for his mother Yashoda. If Yashoda would have seen Krishna in her lap extending 6 miles to cope with the she demon Putana, the natural filial love of Yashoda would have been hurt, because in that way Yashoda would come to know that her so-called son Krishna was God himself. And with the knowledge of Godhead of Krishna, Yashoda Mai would have lost the temper of her love for Krishna as a natural mother. But as far as Lord Krishna is concerned, he is God always, either as a child on the lap of his mother or as the coverer of the universe, Vamana Deva. He does not require to become God by undergoing severe penances, although some men think of becoming God in that way. By undergoing severe austerities and penances, one cannot become one or equal with God, but one can attain most of the godly qualities. A living being can attain godly qualities to a large extent, but he cannot become God. Whereas Krishna, without undergoing any type of penance, is God always, either in the lap of his mother or growing up or at any stage of growth. So at the age of only 3 months, he killed the Shakatasura, who remained hidden behind a cart in the house of Yashodamai. And when he was crawling and was disturbing his mother from doing household affairs, the mother tied him with grinding pestle, but naughty child but the naughty child dragged the pestle up to a pair of very high Arjuna trees in the yard of Yashodamai, and when the pestle was stuck in between the pair of the trees, they fell down with a horrible sound. When Yashodamai came to see the happenings, she thought that her child was saved from the falling trees by the mercy of the Lord, without knowing that the Lord himself, crawling in her yard, had wreaked the havoc. That is the way of reciprocation of love affairs between the Lord and his devotees. Yashodamai wanted to have the Lord as her child, and the Lord played exactly like a child in her lap, but at the same time played the part of the Almighty Lord whenever it was required. The beauty of such pastimes was that Lord fulfilled everyone's desire. In the case of felling the gigantic Arjuna tree, the Lord's mission was to deliver the two sons of Kubera, who were condemned to become trees by the curse of Narada, as well as to play like crawling child in the yard of Yashoda, who took transcendental pleasure in seeing such activities of the Lord in the very yard of her home. The Lord in any condition is Lord of the universe, and he can act as such in any form, gigantic or small, as he likes. Yad Yadvai vraje vraja pashun vishatoya pitan palam stva ajiva yadanugraha drishti vrishtya tachuddayeti vishavirya vilola jihvam uchatayishya duragam hradin viharan hradinyam. Yat, one who, why, certainly, Vraje, at Vrindavan, Vrajapashun, the animals thereof, Vishatoya, poisoned water. Pitan, those who drank, Palan, the cowherd man, 2 also Ajivayat, brought to life, Anugraha Drishti, merciful glance, Vrishtya, by the showers of that, Suddaye, for purification, Ati, exceedingly, Vishavirya, highly potent poison, Vilola, lurking, Jihvam, one who has such a tongue, Uchatayisyat, severely punished, Uragam, unto the snake, Viharan, taking it as a pleasure, Radinyam, in the river. Translation. Then also, when the cowherd boys and their animals drank the poisoned water of the river Yamuna, and after the Lord in his childhood revived them by his merciful glance just to purify the water of the river Yamuna, he jumped into it as if playing and chastised the venomous Kalya snake, which was lurking there, its tongue emitting waves of poison. Who can perform such Herculean task but the Supreme Lord? Tatkarma divyami vayannishi nishshayanam davagnina suchivane paridahyamane unneshyati vrajamato vasitantakalam netre pidapya sabalo nadigamya virya. That karma activity, divyam superhuman, iva like, yet which, nishi at night, nishayanam sleeping carefreely, davagnina by the flare of the forest fire, shuchivane in the dry forest, paridahyamane being set ablaze, Unneshati would deliver Vrajam, all the inhabitants of Vraja, Ataha, hence Avisita, surely Antakalam, last moments of life, Netre, on the eyes, Pidapya, simply by closing, Sabalaha, along with Baladeva, Anidhigamya, unfathomable Viryaha, prowess. Translation. On the very night of the day of the chastisement of the Kalya snake, when the inhabitants of Rajabhumi were sleeping carefreely, there was a forest fire ablaze due to dry leaves, and it appeared that all the inhabitants were sure to meet their death. But the Lord, along with Balaram, saved them simply by closing his eyes. Such are the superhuman activities of the Lord. Purport. Although in this verse the Lord's activity has been described as superhuman, it should be noted that the Lord's activities are always superhuman, and that distinguishes him from the ordinary living being. Uprooting a gigantic banyan or Arjuna tree and extinguishing blazing forest fires simply by closing one's eyes are certainly impossible by any kind of human endeavor. But not only are these activities amazing to hear, but in fact all other activities of the Lord, whatever he may do, are all superhuman, as is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9.4. And whoever knows the superhuman activities of the Lord due to their very transcendental nature becomes eligible to enter the kingdom of Krishna. And as such, after quitting this present material body, the knower of the transcendental activities of the Lord goes back home, back to Godhead. Text number 30. Grihnita yadupada upabandam amusyamata shulbam sutasya natu tat amusyamati yajsrimbatoshya vadane bhuvanani kopi samvikshya sankitamana pratipodhitasit. Grihnita, by taking up yat whatsoever, upabandam, ropes for tying, amusya, his, mata, mother, shulbam, ropes, sutasya, of her son, not, to, however, tat, by and by, amusya, his, mati, was sufficient, yet that which, jrimbata, opening the mouth. Asya, of him. Vadane, in the mouth. Bhuvanani, the worlds. Gopi, the cowherd woman. samvikshya, by seeing it, sankitamana, doubtful in mind, pratibodhita, convinced in a different way, asid, was done. Translation: when the cowherd woman, Krishna's foster mother, Yashoda, was trying to tie the hands of her son with ropes, he found the rope to be always insufficient in length, and when she finally gave up, Lord Krishna by and by opened his mouth, wherein the mother found all the universes situated. Seeing this, she was doubtful in her mind, but she was convinced in a different manner of the mystic nature of her son. Purport. One day Lord Krishna, as the naughty child, disturbed his mother Yashoda, and she began to tie up the child with ropes just to punish him. But no matter how much rope she used, she found it always insufficient. Thus she became fatigued, but in the meantime the Lord opened his mouth, and the affectionate mother saw within the mouth of her son all the universes situated together. The mother was astonished, but out of her deep affection for Krishna, she thought that the Almighty Godhead Narayana had kindly looked after her son just to protect him from all the continuous calamities happening to him. Because of her deep affection for Krishna, she could never think that her very son was Narayana, the personality of Godhead himself. That is the action of Yoga Maya, the internal potency of the Lord, which acts to perfect all the pastimes of the Lord with his different types of devotees. Who could play such wonders without being God? Hare Krishna, Praveen Prabhu and Pranjal Prabhu Tanda Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, can I do it?
Hare Krishna, Praveen both and out Ram.
Hare Krishna to all Prabhuji, Stanod Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Oh,
So
Yes.
today was Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day.
yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Fine, Prabhu. Let us continue reading this. We can discuss it later.
Thank you for joining, Prabhu. Haribol.
No problem. Thank you.
Nandam Chamukriti Bhayat Varnasya Pashat Vedam Vivesitam Mans Sunona Cha Ahanya Aputam Sayanam Ati Ramena Loka Vikuntan Upana Neshyati Gokulam Sma synonyms. Nanda, Nanda, the father of Krishna, Cha, also Mokshati saves Bhayat from the fear of Varunasya, of Varuna, the demigod of water, Pashat, from the clutches of Gopan, the cowherd man, Bileshu, in the caves of the mountain, Initan placed, Maya Sunona, by the son of Maya, Cha also Arni Apritam, being living is during the daytime, Nishi, at night, Shayanam, lying down, Ati Shramena, because of hard labor, Lokam, planet, Vikuntam, the spiritual sky, Upanishyati, he avoided, Gokulam, the
Prabhu,
highest planet,
Prabhu, please little, um, your sound is very low, Prabhu.
Gokulam, the highest planet, Small, certainly. Oh, is it okay now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Translation. Lord Krishna saved his foster father Nanda Maharaj from the fear of demigod Varuna and released the cowherd boys from the caves of the mountain, for they were placed there by the son of Maya, also to the inhabitants of Vrindavan, who were busy working during daytime and sleeping soundly at night because of their hard labor in day. Lord Krishna awarded promotion to the highest planet in the spiritual sky. All these acts are transcendental and certainly prove without any doubt his godhood. Purport by John Gracious Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nanda Maharaj is the foster father of Lord Krishna went to take his bath in the river Yamuna in the dead of night, mistakenly thinking that night was already over. Thus the demigod Varuna took him to the Varuna planet just to have a look at the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, who appeared there to release the father. Actually, there was no arrest of Nanda Maharaj by Varuna because the inhabitants of Vrindavan were always engaged in thinking of Krishna in constant meditation on the personality of Godhead in a particular form of samadhi or trance or bhakti yoga. They had no fear of the miseries of material existence. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that to be in the association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by full surrender in transcendental love frees one from the miseries inflicted by the laws of material nature. Here it is clearly stated, clearly busy in the hard labor of their day's work, and due to that day's hard labor, they were engaged in sound and sleep at night. So practically, they had very little time to devote to meditation or to the paraphernalia of spiritual activities. But factually, they were engaged in the highest spiritual activities only. Everything done by them was spiritualized because everything was dovetailed in their relationship with Lord Shri Krishna. The central point of activities was Krishna, and as such, the so-called activities in the material world were saturated with spiritual potency. And that is the advantage of the way of Bhakti Yoga. One should discharge one's duty on Lord Krishna's behalf, and all one's action will be saturated with Krishna. Krishna's thought, the highest pattern of trance in spiritual realization. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, I need to leave because my battery is almost dead. So thank you, Prabhu, for a kind association.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for association and for reading. Who wants to read next? We have like 1 or 2 verses left.
Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Pranamji Srila Prabhu. गोबेर्मघे प्रतिहते व्रजविप्लवाय देवेऽभिवर्षति पशून् कृपया ऋरक्षु दर्तोच्चिलीन्द्रम् इव 7 दिनानि 7 वर्षो महिद्रम् अनघैकागरे सलिलम्. Gobe, by the cowherd men, Maghe, in offering a sacrifice to the king of heaven, Pratihade, being hampered, Brajaviplavaya, for devastating the whole existence of Brajabhumi, the land of Krishna's pastimes. Deve, by the king of heaven, Abhivarshati, having poured down heavy rain. Pashun, the animals. Kripaya, by causeless mercy upon them. Dirakshu, desire. Ekagare, in one hand only. Sadilam, playfully. Translation. Can you scroll up? Translation. When the cowherd men of Vrindavana stopped offering sacrifice to the heavenly king Indra, under instruction of Krishna, the whole tract of land known as Vraja was threatened to be washed away by constant heavy rains for 7 days. Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy upon the inhabitants of Vraja, held up the hill known as Govardhana with one hand only, although he was only 7 years old. He did this to protect the animals from the onslaught of water. Purport. Children play with an umbrella, generally known as a frog's umbrella, and Lord Krishna, when he was 7 years old only, could snatch the great hill known as the Govardhana Parvata at Vrindavana and hold it for 7 days continually with one hand, just to protect the animals and the inhabitants of Vrindavana from the wrath of Indra, the heavenly king, who was denied sacrificial offering by the inhabitants of Brajabhumi. Actually, there is no need of offering sacrifice to the demigods for their service if one is engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. Sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literature for satisfaction of the demigods are a sort of inducement to the sacrifices just to realize the existence of higher authorities. The demigods are engaged by the Lord as controlling deities of the material affairs, and according to Bhagavad Gita, when a demigod is worshipped, the process is accepted as the indirect method for worshipping the Supreme Lord. But when the Supreme Lord is worshipped directly, there is no need of worshipping the demigods or offering them sacrifices as is recommended in particular circumstances. Lord Krishna therefore advised the inhabitants of the Brajabhumi not to offer any sacrifices to the heavenly king Indra. But Indra, not knowing Lord Krishna in Brajabhumi, was angry at the inhabitants of Brajabhumi and tried to avenge the offense. But competent as the Lord was, he saved the inhabitants and animals of Brajabhumi by his personal energy and proved definitely that anyone who is directly engaged as a devotee of the Supreme Lord need not satisfy any other demigods, however great, even to the level of Brahma or Shiva. Thus, the incidents definitely proved without a doubt that Lord Krishna is the personality of Godhead, and he was so in all circumstances. As a child on the lap of his mother, as a boy 7 years old, and as an old man of 125 years of age, in either case he was never on the level of the ordinary man, and even in his advanced age he appeared a young boy 16 years old. These are the particular features of the transcendental body of the Lord. Text 33. क्रीडन् वने निशिनिसाकररश्मिगौर्यां रसोन्मुखकलप्रदायत मूर्च्छितेन उद्दीपितस्मरणरुजां व्रजभृद्वधूनां हर्तुर्हरिष्यति शिरो धनाधानुगस्य. Kridan, while engaged in his pastimes, Vane, in the forest of Vrindavana, Nishi, nocturnal, Nisakara, the moon, Rashmi Gauryam, white moonshine, Rasa Unmukha, desiring to dance with, Kala Padayata, accompanied by sweet songs, Murchidena, and melodious music, Uddivida, awakened, Smara Rujam, sex desires, Brajabrit, the inhabitants of Brajabhumi, Vadunam, of the wives, Hartu, of the kidnappers, Harishadi, will vanquish, Shira, the head, Dhanada Anugasya, of the followers of the rich Kuvera. Purport. When the Lord was engaged in his pastimes of the Rasa dance in the forest of Vrindavana, and leavening the sexual desires of the wives of the inhabitants of Vrindavana by sweet and melodious song, a demon of the name Shangachuda, a rich follower of the treasurer of heaven, Kuvera, kidnapped the damsels, and the Lord severed his head from his trunk. Translation. We should carefully note that the statements described herein are the statements of Brahmaji to Narada, and he was speaking to Narada of events that would happen in future during the advent of Lord Krishna. The pastimes of the Lord are known to the experts who are able to see past, present, and future, and Brahmaji, being one of them, foretold what would happen in the future. The killing of Shankachuda by the Lord is a more recent incident after Rasa Leela, and not exactly a simultaneous affair. In the previous verses, we have seen also that the Lord's engagement in the forest fire affairs was described along with his pastimes of punishing the Kaliya snake, and similarly, the pastimes of the Rasa dance and the killing of Shankachuda are also described herein. The adjustment is that all these incidents would take place in the future, after the time when it was being foretold by Brahmaji to Narada. The demon Shankachuda was killed by the Lord during his pastimes at Horiga in the month of Falguni, and the same ceremony is still observed in India by the burning of the effigy of Shankachuda one day prior to the Lord's pastimes at Horiga, generally known as Holi. The festival of colors. Generally, the future appearance and the activities of the Lord or his incarnations are foretold in the scriptures, and thus the pseudo-incarnations are unable to cheat persons who are in the knowledge of the events as they are described in the authoritative scriptures. Should I read or anyone else want to read?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Now we go to Damodarashtakam.
Namamishwaram Sachidanandalupam Lasatkundalam Gokure Brajamanam Yashodabiyolu Kaladavamanam Palam Listam Achyantatoducha Gopyam
Rudantam Hurnetrayugmam Rijantam Paramodayugmena Satankanetram Mosarkam Bhatirekag Kanthasthitagrayata Bhaktibatam.
इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे सुघोषं निमज्जन्तमख्यापयन्तं तदीये सिदाग्नेषु भक्तेर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सदा वृत्तिवन्दे
Param neva moksham na mokshavadhima na janyam rineham mare sadhapi idam deva purnadh gopal balam dadami manasya viratam kamanye.
इदं ते मुगाम्बोजमत्यन्तनीलैर्मृतं कुण्डले स्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्य मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तादरं मे मनस्याविराष्टं मलं लक्ष
Namo Devadamodalananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhuka Jalabdimagnam Kripadristi Vrischati Jinambatanu Glihani Samamagyam Idyakshidesham
कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्ते वयद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेमभक्तिं स्वकाम्ये प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह
नमस्तेऽस्तु धाम्ने स्फुरद्दीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोद्धरायातविश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
Prabhu. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was turning into the butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodara from humble obeisances.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my homage.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drawing the inhabitants of Gokul in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conception of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to the Lord Damodar, hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nala Kuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as baby tied with a rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisance to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisance to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisance to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes.
Haribol, Damodarashtakam ki jai.
Jai.
Cheto darpanamarjanam pavamahadavagninirvapanam Shreyah Kairavachandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamridasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vichayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा च सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशं ह्याजनिनानुराग
Pranadapi sunicena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरी भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि हैनं तनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गडदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदयनिजितं बभूव कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravirshaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me.
आश्लित्य वा पादरदां पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनां मर्महदां करोतु वा यदा तदा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनादस्तु स एव नापरः
Haribol. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking was lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet, somehow or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death, and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling our separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from us like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Shri Siksastakam ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Bahu Janma Kare Adi Shravana Kirtan Tabutana Paya Krishna Pade Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting.
Second offense, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic literature, Holy Church, and persons to the Vedic version.
Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Sixth offense, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karmakanda.
Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offensive to be inattentive while chanting.
Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema.
Let us offer humble obeisances unto all the respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees, and therefore of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyascha patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaham. Ananta Kuchi Vaishnavlinde Ki Jai, Shla Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Hari Bo.
Thank
Thank
you so much
you very much.
for reading.